Am I the asshole for refusing to be kicked out of my own home for my girlfriend's party? Last week was a nightmare at work, and all I wanted was a chill weekend to unwind. I stocked up on my favorite snacks and drinks, ready to dive into some Netflix and gaming, looking forward to a well-deserved evening alone while my girlfriend spent time with her friends. But then, Saturday afternoon, disaster struck. A heavy storm rolled in, forcing my girlfriend and her friends to cancel their picnic plans. Instead of accepting the change, she decided to invite all her friends over for a girls' night at our place. They planned to turn our living room into a makeshift party zone complete with movies, snacks, and loud laughter. I reminded her that I was stressed and had planned a quiet evening to recharge. She brushed it off and insisted that my need for peace didn't matter as much as her friends wanting to have a good time. I told her there was no way I was going to be kicked out of my own home for a party I never wanted. She argued that I was being unreasonable and that I should either go out for the evening or retreat to the bedroom while they took over the living room. I was furious. I couldn't believe she thought it was okay to throw a party in our shared space without even considering my needs. It felt like a total betrayal. She was prioritizing her friend's fun over my well-being. I told her that if she wanted to have a girls' night, she could do it at her friend's house, not mine. This wasn't just about one evening, it was about mutual respect in our relationship. I was at my breaking point. Would I stand my ground and fight for my peace, or would I have to give in and sacrifice my own plans? So, despite my protests, the girls' night was happening. As I argued with my girlfriend about her decision to invite all her friends over, the guests began to arrive, laughing and chatting, completely ignoring the storm brewing between us. I felt sidelined as she welcomed them, her excitement overshadowing my need for a quiet evening. Frustrated, I retreated to the bedroom after insisting that this wasn't fair. I flopped onto the bed, hoping to distract myself with Netflix. I turned on a show and grabbed some snacks, trying to immerse myself in a fictional world, but the noise from the living room made it nearly impossible. For the first hour and a half, I tried to endure the chaos. The sound of laughter echoed through the walls, along with the upbeat music blasting from the speakers. I clenched my jaw, shifting from the bed to the chair and back again, each minute feeling longer than the last. Every cheer and scream felt like a reminder of how my plans had been upended, how I had been forced into the background of my own home. I couldn't shake the growing resentment. I thought about how I'd been clear about needing this time to unwind, yet she acted like my feelings didn't matter at all. It felt like betrayal, and I couldn't fathom how she could prioritize a party over my well-being. After an eternity of pretending to watch TV, I finally snapped. I stood up, my heart pounding with frustration, and stormed into the kitchen where she was busy preparing snacks with her friends. "This is ridiculous," I exclaimed, my voice rising to be heard over the din. "I'm not just going to hide away while you throw a party in our home." She looked up, momentarily surprised before rolling her eyes. "You're being selfish. We're just having fun, and you can't expect me to cancel everything because you want a quiet night." I shot back, reminding her that I'd had a hell of a week and that I deserved to unwind in my own home. Our argument escalated, voices clashing amid the laughter of her friends, who seemed to be enjoying the spectacle. I felt my anger boiling over, and just when I thought things couldn't get any worse, one of her friends, clearly overwhelmed by the booze, stumbled and fell onto the couch. In a moment of chaos, she threw up all over our pristine white couch, and the room fell silent for a moment as shock took hold. Panic erupted as everyone rushed to help their friend, while I stood there, a mix of disbelief and anger coursing through me. "This is what happens when you throw a party without considering anyone else?" I shouted, but my girlfriend was more focused on her friend than the mess. When I pointed out the disaster on the couch, she snapped back, insisting I was overreacting and that it was just a couch. In that moment, everything crystallized. This wasn't just about a ruined evening or a messy couch. It was about how little respect there was in our relationship. I felt trapped, left questioning if I could continue to put up with being treated like an afterthought while she prioritized her friends over me. Feeling utterly disrespected and trapped, I decided I had enough. I grabbed my phone, stormed out of the house, and called my best friend. "Can I stay over for the night?" I asked, my voice tense with frustration. He immediately agreed, and I headed over, desperate to escape the chaos. The next day, I returned home, hoping for some acknowledgement of what had happened. Instead, my girlfriend acted like nothing was wrong. There was no apology, no discussion about the fight or the mess on the couch. It felt like she was choosing to ignore the fallout of her choices, leaving me feeling more isolated than ever. In that moment, I realized how much this situation reflected our relationship: a lack of communication, respect, and consideration for each other's feelings. I stood there, torn between my lingering affection for her and the growing realization that I deserved better than being treated as an afterthought in my own home. Am I the asshole?